And we are live. You can catch us on YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, Kick, and Facebook. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be right back with you, Howlers. Howls over Baaz. I'm Jacob Casas.
It's Melanie.
It's Millie.
And we have Dad Academy in the den today. What's going on, Jeff? How you doing?
Ooh, John, you got to turn my headphones down, man. No, hey. Good to
How you
see
doing,
everybody?
Jeff?
Good to see the fam back. Millie, I'm glad you came back.
Hey,
The
what's up?
first one was scary.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. Great to be back. I always look forward to this on the month. It was funny listening to the first segment, right? Because it takes me forever to get here. I need to be one of those NASCAR guys that helicopters in. But it's just like, what are we going to talk about today? And usually with all your guests.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you.
So sorry.
That's okay. I was waiting to see if
Excuse me.
snot was gonna fly or like
I think some a little bit did.
something.
Gonna lie.
But again, our little conversations here, the other guests when they come in, a lot of them, what would you say, Mel? Like 75% of them are first time guests, or 50% are first time people?
Probably
that-
90.
For
Probably
the
90%.
Dad Academy
No,
ones,
no,
or-
no,
No,
just
just
in general.
general.
us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but
90%.
yeah.
Maybe
Yes.
even maybe even more, 95.
So there's
Yeah.
always something new to talk about, right?
Mhm.
And then listening to you three, you guys have been nonstop on my feed for a month, right? And I'm like, hey,
Yeah, I'm tired.
maybe we need to do something more than just Dad Academy, right? Some adulting, but you guys do enough adulting as it is, because I'm talking to three parents,
We try.
that keep it balanced, and nothing wrong
We
with
try.
Yeah.
nothing wrong with having a good time. But no, this is always always a good time. So, yeah, how was Mother's Day? I haven't seen you guys since Mother's Day.
Oh shit. I mean,
Oh,
shoot.
Bang.
Yeah.
Did you do anything for Mother's Day?
I worked
You did.
all day.
Yeah.
I didn't. I hung out with my mom, and then my kids came later in the evening because they come back to my house from their dad's on Sundays, and they came a little early, and we were swimming, and then we made pizzas from scratch.
Cool.
And then we did a little competition thing. Like me and my daughter teamed up against my mom and my son, so they made their own, and then me and my daughter made our own together. And we got creative. It was cool. It was fun.
Sounds wild.
Yeah, you know what? That's
You know
that's the
what?
kind of stuff that you look forward to, actually, right?
Yeah, it was nice.
In fact, to
Jacob
all the
wants some
howlers.
extravagant,
No, I'm just joking.
crazy story. I'm like, because I'm so mellow, I don't have all these exciting stories.
But we
Listen.
do so much all the time. Like
Yeah.
on a Mother's Day, we want to be able to just chill with our kids.
I wanted
Exactly
to
right.
take my mom to Glen Ivy, but it was sold out for that whole weekend. So I was like, oh, man, we gotta figure something else
We'll
out.
do
But
it next year.
yeah,
Well, I mean, making pizzas with your kids, that's pretty cool.
quality time.
All out to the howlers out here that Millie brought in today. Homemade seafood boil with crab legs.
We know how to do it
and-
all,
and
guys. There's balance to all the madness,
Exactly right, man. I see that
I
happening.
be cooking.
you know?
I be
There's
cooking.
balance. Yeah.
I cook. I don't bake.
I be cooking.
Let him
yeah.
cook now.
Don't
Let him cook.
don't let her get talking about biscuits and cupcakes. So we
Yeah.
don't want to go. We don't want to go down that
that rabbit
that
hole.
direction. Yeah.
I'm not a baker. I'm not
So,
a baker.
Do we need to debrief anything related to the fair, or any of those kind of activities, or do we just want to kind of leave that, let it lie?
I would love to with
You want to debrief? I'm cool with it. I'm always game. But if she doesn't get mad, if you could just be cool,
No, she's good. Remember?
She's good.
we'll see.
I'm here.
I'm on
Aw,
Prozac.
shit.
I'm chilling.
Here we go
All
again.
right, we'll see. But Yeah, I'm cool with that. Want to debrief it? Like counsel it? I'm cool with that.
No,
I would
man.
love you to counsel that.
Yeah,
Like
me too.
honestly, I would love you to because I feel like personally, I feel like if I have a friend and we're going through a place we're not in common ground or not in good communication, I feel like an explanation is needed because you're my friend. Like you're my friend. I feel like I do need to explain how I got from point A to point B or where the miscommunication was or whatever. So an explanation is needed. Um Talking to Jacob in the beginning when I had talked to him, he was like, I don't need to explain anything to anybody, blah, blah, blah. But I'm trying to get him to understand, like, when you're friends with somebody, you can't, maybe your friendship with other people are different, but I get it. Like, I don't have to explain shit to you or blah, 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 blah. But, like, when you're friends with somebody, like, I genuinely want to know what I did wrong or, like, what set you off to, like, create.
But I didn't get
such
set
a
off. That's like the main thing. I walked away from getting set off because you were when people take personal attacks, I'm just done. Like I'm not gonna deal with it. I walk away. I was talking calm, cool, collective, and I was not the one set off. So to me, it's funny that it's pushed back on me to like, what did I do? It's like it's all on camera. We had a conversation. You said what you said. I didn't want to keep hearing it, so I walked off. But yet I'm the bad guy. That's the funny part to me.
No one. I don't think anyone ever said you were the bad guy.
She just said what set me off. I didn't get set off. I walked away.
Something you said set her off, or something you
No,
did.
she's saying I got set off.
So there was a reason. So for me, okay, so in a nutshell, when we were something upset you, like I always tell him, actions have reactions, right? So like when something had to have happened for me to even think that you were in a different mindset because you had to feel a certain way. Like you had to feel a certain way about what I said, what I did. And then to make remarks, right? To make any remark, like you have to feel attacked or you have to feel a certain way. Now, when he came back at me, did I feel a certain way? Yes, I did. I can take accountability for that. And I can take accountability for my actions. I did get upset. I did get angry. I did say some stuff that I didn't mean. But I don't.
But you
think
also apologized too in the after the fact.
Yeah, and I feel like it didn't just come out of nowhere, and that's what I was saying is like you have to poke the bear for the bear to get angry. Like I don't just react off of just like thin air. Like it has to be something.
But my thing is, how are you reacting the way you are when I just walked away?
But you're stuck on one part. You're stuck on one part, and it wasn't just one part.
What other part did I do to do that? Because I mean, you said other things that was back, but when I'm talking about the initial situation, is if I walk away, I'm trying to avoid conflict with you.
But you're only seeing my reaction from what you felt like you were being downplayed. But there was a whole other situation before that I'm saying, I'm letting you know. It's like you can't just think that I just got mad out of nowhere and then I just started screaming at you. No, there's not just, she started, because that's what you're only seeing is like you screamed at me, I walked away. So I played it right because I walked away. But it's like, no, there was a point in the conversation, in the whole thing that made us all sit down, made us all talk, made me sit there and listen to you. Like there was a point.
Yeah, you said me walking away pissed you off.
No. But what happened before that? I feel like you're just stuck on just walking away and the yelling.
That's what you said was what made you mad, though. That's what you told me.
No, and I think you're misinterpreting it. There's situation before that.
Was that when he said the autistic comment?
He made the autistic comment, and like before that, he was upset about, he felt like his character was being compromised or whatever because we're talking about our friend, him not walking our friend to the car.
And it was dark. It was late. We were walking her to get picked up.
I like how they spin this, but you know what happened, John.
No, we're giving him the background, like everything that is how it initially started. She brought up the situation of him not walking with us two girls at dark at night
See, you
to
see how they
drop
spit
off
it?
to drop off
Easy now.
to walk my friend, which is my friend, right, to get picked up by her husband because her husband was picking her up. So we walked her down
great.
this way. I don't even know where it was at, but it was away from the fair, basically.
Right.
And it's dark. You know, he walked off, she walked off a little bit, and then I stayed with my friend. And I explained this to Jacob too. I said, if anyone should be upset about anything, it should be me. If I really felt some type of way, because it was my friend, and I walked her by myself. Late, like maybe 10 steps away, Millie was right behind me. Then they trickled back in, you know. So it was like, at the end of the day, I did my part as a friend.
Yeah, and I walked her to her car, but it was just like,
So that's
And
how it started. That's the backstory of how it got to that.
and he felt upset about it, and that's why he walked away, because he felt like his character was being compromised or whatever you had said. But I was even telling him, like, it had not, like, we weren't even trying to be malicious. It was literally the fact that, like, we talked about it on the pod, that like literally at the last dating and relationship, we talked about it on the pod, and we were like, he was like, man, that's the bare minimum. People opening your door, walking you to your car. He was making fun of like this situation that had happened where this guy like did some cute shit, but like unnecessary cute shit. But he was saying like that should be the bare minimum, ladies. You walking somebody walking to your car and because we were telling him about, we saw like 4 different women walk their dudes to their cars at Goodfellas.
A different time.
A different time. But we're telling him about that. He's like, that's the bare minimum. Like, guys shouldn't even do that. So we're clowning him like he clowns us, and we're clowning him, and we're just saying.
It was
like,
one of those, like, you know, he picks at us, we pick at him, and it just kind of went a little extreme. So
You know, the fact that you guys are saying it like that, like, makes me not even want to engage. Because John was in the saw the whole thing, and you guys try to spin it that way is hilarious.
no,
to
but
me.
that's how it
That's
started.
yeah,
That's
but
how it started.
That whole starting is not even how it went down. Like
Yes, it
you guys are
is.
trying to make it seem like that, and that's what's funny to me. And I explained this to both of you.
And
on the
I
phone
told
and
you
in
this
person.
too. I said, if you can't handle the rage baiting, then don't do it to us.
No, it's not even rage baiting. You guys are.
You do
you
that
guys
all
are
the time to
literally
us.
like completely
So when we do it to you,
changing the narrative.
oh, it's a problem. No, it was. That's
It's
been the
not.
whole thing the whole time.
No,
wait, so what do
no,
you
it
think
wasn't.
happened?
I could tell you exactly, and it's going to be looked at completely different how you guys were. So she was supposed to go to her car a long time ago, and I'm like, what's going on? We haven't even gone to her car, because then they stopped. They were eating, they were hanging out, talking to kids, whatever. So I'm like, I thought we were going to her car. I even said, I thought we were going to her car. Isn't your husband waiting for you? And she's like, oh no, he's not even here yet. I'm like, all right, cool. Then we're just walking around the fair like normal, and we're just literally walking around. And then this DJ's, we're walking a certain area. I don't even know, because we just
Towards the direction where
you
we're
explained. Let me explain now. So we're walking towards a
Easy,
certain
come on now.
area. No, because it's funny, because like, they can get.
You cut her
I'm
off
gonna
earlier.
be. We'll get there. I'm listening to.
So we're walking towards a certain area, just a car area. I still don't even think we're walking towards the
Okay.
area where she's leaving.
Okay.
I don't even think that at all. And all I know is just walking, because we just keep walking all over the place. So then we get to a certain area, and a DJ's like, hey, because we're streaming. So I walk over to the DJ, and that pissed them off, because later on they told me it did. So I'm walking to the DJ, we're filming the DJ, talking to him, whatever. But I'm there for like 2 minutes. They're still walking. They're gone. They're somewhere
I know
else.
it was more than 2 minutes. So okay, keep
For
going.
the DJ,
Keep going.
we can literally pull the tape.
I know. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good.
So I'm at the DJ talking to him. Then I'm like, they're over at the end, and I guess I didn't even know where basically where they were. So then they go over there, and then I see them over there, and then it's like, oh, you didn't walk. That's when the whole thing started. You didn't walk her to the gate. I'm like, first of all, I didn't even know we were leaving. I thought we were just walking through the whole thing right now. I had no clue where we were going, and literally that's just basically went down. And then they're going back and forth on this. I'm like, listen, it is what it is. Like, she's already at, so I walked her to the gate. You know, we went back and forth on this whole thing. And me, I'm just like, well, I didn't even know we were going over here. I know we were walking around, but the whole time we've been walking around for how long? So at the end of the day.
All right. All right.
No, but, okay.
Listen, no.
Yeah,
I would like John in this,
Now,
but you know.
now it's my turn. Now it's my turn. Because, like, first of all, right, if Jamie was here, my wife Jamie, she'd be like, oh, this sounds like every day at our house. Just so you know, right? Because there's a whole bunch of different factors that are at play that we realize, right? We all acknowledge. Listen, there ain't there's never one person that has a monopoly on the truth, right? You guys probably know me well enough to know, like, there's no statement that I hate more than this. I'm just speaking my truth. Like, because when somebody says that, what are they really saying? I'm telling you what I think is right from my perspective, and because it's my truth, you can't disagree with me. Right? It's like a trump card, right? That we throw out. Like in my business, it's always like, well, God told me. I'm like, is that really where we're going? like there's no other point of conversation. Somebody's got to throw out like the ultimate slap down.
Right.
Right. So here's right. I saw clips, right? Like this. Not because it's bad, personally, because actually it sounds funny to say I don't like other people's conflict.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
No.
but here's what I think. I heard 3 true stories tonight.
And they're all different from what you saw in the clip, right?
Well, the clip doesn't even matter to me, right?
Okay.
Because how much have I really seen of the whole night? Like,
Right. Thank
I
you.
love you guys. I want to check it out.
Right,
It'd be
right,
like,
Hey, what really
I
happened?
don't know that I want to like go this deep into all
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
right? Plus, I don't have 2 hours to watch you guys with
Yeah.
your adventures in Wonderland. So, but I've worked with people enough to know, and I look in my own mirror, right?
Right.
Like we always look to justify, right? And self-justification is not necessarily bad. It's not that we're lying or that we are trying to disrespect somebody else. We do that when we feel that we're exposed to being shamed or when we're exposed to being disrespected. So what Millie's saying is, dude, like you totally disrespected me by not giving me an explanation. You're saying like, bro, you're just totally disrespecting me because of disrespecting us because like you think that we're not telling the story. You're all about like being true. You're all about like Jacob's like, you guys don't even understand. I felt disrespected from the very beginning because I'm here. I'm hanging out with you guys. Like, this is kind of like my thing. You guys are running the show, and I'm trying to figure out what you're doing, and there's no real plan. And then, so when I go off to do my thing, then all of a sudden all of it is true. Right?
I feel like it's true because because it's like having cameras, right? Cameras in different
Right.
angles.
Exactly
You're seeing
right.
it from different points of views. But like you can't tell me that I feel.
Stop. I can tell you. Okay, so
No,
like
no,
I just
no, no,
interrupted,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So let's rephrase it because even that kind of mentality, right?
But I feel like you can't say. I feel like nobody can tell you how you feel. Nobody. That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
Nobody.
Correct.
I don't mean to use the word you. You're correct.
I understand.
But I'm saying like, I'm telling you how I feel in the moment. I'm telling you how I felt during this time. But you can't say I'm wrong for that because this is how I feel,
But your
and my
reaction
feelings
could be
are
wrong.
valid.
Your
No.
exploding to me is different to me. Like okay, if
But
somebody's yelling,
but that's
and
something
screaming
that
at
she's
you,
got to own. That's something that you got to own later. Because also just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean that you have permission
To react.
to
that's-
act that way, right? So here's what I'm saying. None of this is avoidable. You hang out with people enough, like, and here's what's so funny: the people that you're most committed to in relationships are the one that you take for granted the most, right? You explode on Jacob, probably not like you would on me, at least yet.
Yeah.
Right? Melanie just sits back and she's just kind of like steaming a little bit underneath, right? Because she's not out like she wants everybody to be everybody to be happy, everybody to be cool, right? My wife is a lot like Mel, right? In fact, there's like we do a thing about like, have you guys done like Enneagram and any of these like personality tests? Do you know what I'm talking about? The Enneagram?
Oh,
or
like the
Yeah, I've done them
the
on the show.
numbers.
I've done them on the show.
Yeah. Okay, so there's one that I really like that's called core values. And it divides like the brain into people who are thinkers and people who are feelers, right? Left or right side of the brain, right? Thinkers and feelers, right? And then you have a horizontal plane where you have people who are doers, and if I can say it this way, people who are beers, right? It's about the existence, right? It's
Being
not about the
there.
task. It's about the relationships. It's about the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. And so down on the reason why we like this is so it's called core because core CORE stands for the different roles.
Yeah.
So down in the thinking, doing is the captain. Okay. And the captain's goal is that they just want to get there, right? They're on a mission. We're headed this way, right? And so when you go into the being side of the thinking, you have what's called the observer, the researcher, the person who wants to be right,
Oh,
right? Not in a bad way. They just want to make sure everybody has all the good
Ducks in a row.
information, the researcher, right? Now, when you move that person over into the feeling side, the be feel, you have what's called the relator. It's kind of what my wife is. And the relator's job is that they really want everybody to be on the same page. Unity at all costs, right? That relationships are the number one thing. Now you can see, and then down in the bottom on the doing, but the feeling side is what we call the exhorter or the cheerleader, right? Their job is to make sure that everybody feels included. We don't care what we're doing, right? As long as everybody gets to be involved, as long as everybody gets to be a part. That's different than the relator who wants to make sure that everybody's on the same page,
Yeah.
right? And so now what's crazy is like in the if the captain's greatest goal is to arrive, then what would be the most frustrating thing for them?
The cheerleader, right?
No.
Time.
Like if
Oh,
you
time.
don't get there, right? The
Yeah.
greatest fear is like I'm never going to accomplish anything.
Yeah.
The observer, right? The thinking being side, the one who has to be right. If they have to be right and want to have all the right information, what's the thing that they're most afraid of? If you can't
No.
be right, you have to be
Wrong.
that they're wrong, right? The relator, if they want everybody to be all unified and copacetic and lovey-dovey towards one another, what's their greatest fear?
Division.
Division. Exactly right. And then when you get down to the exhorter, when they want everybody to be included, what would be their greatest fear?
When they're not included.
When they're not included and when things are all isolated.
Yeah.
So what's so crazy is that like Jamie and I, like I can tell that she's a relator. She thinks that I'm on the captain side, right? And it's not necessarily male, female. It just has to do with maybe the way that God's kind of designed us of what's really important to you. What's important for me is that we're headed somewhere, that we're on task, that we're on a mission. My wife's most important goal is she wants everybody to be loved. She wants everybody to feel nobody to be left out as a relator. So you can see why the things that are important to us are big challenges when we have conflict. So when we have conflict and my wife feels that we're divided, her goal is to do what? To get us united as quickly as possible. That's not my goal. Being united with my wife is the means to an end of us getting past this.
Yeah.
Right? And so sometimes what people need from us and why we have these crisscross is we forget what's really important to the other person. Right? So it's not that you don't have a right to present your truth, right? You don't have a right. And yes, what you feel is real. Feelings are real things, right? They're ways that we've programmed ourselves over our lives. But what you also have to remember when we're in important relationships, remember, In the Bible, Jesus says that he summed up all of the 10 commandments into just two: love God, but also then what comes next?
Love others.
How are you the only one that don't go to church giving the answer? And these
Well,
two
he's
fools,
not even paying
these
attention.
two
I'm
fools
paying
just
He's over
sitting
here
here.
multitasking.
I'm
Hey,
paying
no,
attention.
listen. As a guy, let me give you a clue for guys. If a guy
That's
is
why
looking,
we have to repeat ourselves all the time.
He's
if
he's
a-
shut down.
if a guy is
I'm not-
listening to
I'm
you,
listening.
if a guy's looking at you, he's not listening to you. Girls like to have conversation like this. We call it knee to knee or eye to eye, right? Face to face. Guys do not function that way. In fact, that's the reason why guys like to hang out instead of like have coffee together, like they like to go do something, is because if I don't have to look at him, I can share with him what I'm really feeling, what I'm really thinking, because I don't have to. I'm not going to try to read what his reaction is.
Mm.
So guys converse shoulder to shoulder, women converse knee to knee, and so John does that, and my flow gets all off, and Jacob's about to spit out his Red Bull right now. So I think one of the things that's really important is then starting to understand, like, what's also, is it more important for us to share our truth, or is it more? I think it's equally as important to also understand what the other person also needs, right? And it's hard in the heat of the moment because what we want so much is to be understood. We want to be seen. We want to be heard, right? Because that is one of the ways in which we feel valued, which we feel significant from the most important people in our lives. And if we don't feel seen or heard or trusted by those people, even in times of conflict, then our sense of worth and value is attacked, right? And shame starts to come back in. But also we have to be careful because, like, shame is the easiest weapon, right? And I will tell you, for any guy, when they start to feel attacked, and I'm not trying to protect Jacob. We'll get to him in a minute. But I think that one of the things that's most important is that the minute that a guy feels disrespected or shamed, he's out. He's out. You have just completely shut him down. It would be as if some dude brought on all kinds of, like, and probably each of you would respond differently to this, right? Some guy starts coming up and cursing you out and saying bad things about you and calling your name and stuff like this. Millie will come right back at him, right?
Yeah.
Mel will just sit there and go,
Nah, in the heat of the moment.
Yeah,
I'd be-
yeah,
she-
you'd
she's a
go,
little
you'd light him
crazy.
up.
Yeah.
You'd light him up.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
good. But then all of a sudden, like, some of that stuff is irreparable, right? Now, the best thing about the fam here is that the only way you know how tight you are is when you have to navigate conflict, right? Is when people make mistakes. Then you see love at work that actually says, I forgive you. And the problem with saying I forgive you, you know that old saying that forgive and forget?
Yeah.
That doesn't never happen. Because you never forget, do you?
No.
Have you ever forgotten somebody that's really like
I
hurt
mean,
you?
I mean, no, but I do try to forget.
Forgiving
it's-
is important.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's always back there because what it also does is, like,
Well, if another conflict takes off, then it pops back
it
in
pops
your head.
back up, right? So, in fact, it's one of the reasons why, especially, how many kids you have, Millie?
2.
2. How many kids you got?
2.
2. How many kids you got?
Too.
So, one of the important things that we talked about with our kids is that, have you ever made one of your kids apologize to the other one?
Yeah.
What do you make them say?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, right? That's actually a very brave thing to say. When you're teaching your kids to say I'm sorry, you're building courage in them, because the hardest thing to do in life is to say I'm wrong. That's the hardest thing to do in life. And moms and dads that can get their kids, like, that's why it's cool to have siblings, right? Because you're never going to be 100%, with your brother or your sister, right? So as a parent, we teach them to say you're wrong. Now, what do you have your other kid respond with? If one says I'm sorry, how do you is sorry enough?
I forgive you.
Yes. And those words are really, really important, because if they just reply like, oh, it's okay, it's no big deal. Oh, I don't know, it's a big enough deal that I had to apologize,
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
right? Because if you don't say I forgive you, forgive, like the concept of forgive is like somebody pays off your debt, right? I'm sorry is like that's a big risk. And what you say when you say the words, I forgive you, says that I understand and I'm not going to hold this against you. In fact, I'm releasing you from owing me anything. And that's a powerful thing to be able to train your kids, because how many times happens over our life that people have not done us right? And we may never hear that I'm sorry. But like you've maybe have heard that not forgiving someone is drinking poison, hoping that they'll die,
Yeah.
right? Because that's the stuff that gunks up all of our life. In fact, it's one of the reasons why all of us do a couple of things, right? Why all of us justify a little bit, which is making excuses. It's okay. Like it's not. I'm not saying that we're bad people. Like that's our self-defense mechanism.
I have a question. What is the difference between justification and what was the word that you said, Jacob?
Rationalizing
And
your faults.
rationalization.
Rationalizing a fault, like trying to
Yeah.
rationalize something that
Justifying is trying to give a reason for something, right? I did like the cause and effect.
Mm.
But a rationalization is that
I did this
I
because
don't need a. It's just how I work.
Oh yeah, no,
Right?
I didn't do that.
And
And you
so-
said that I did that, but
you said
me
did.
me
To
wanting
me, you
to
did.
Let's look. Go ahead. Keep going.
yeah, because when I was explaining to him how I got to point A to point B to point C to be screaming or getting upset or whatever, which I also did take accountability for and I apologize for. But me trying to explain to him, well, this is the reason I got to, he said that was me trying to rationalize. But I don't feel like I was trying to rationalize it. I feel like he needed to see the big picture of what went through my head to get me at that point. Which maybe I'm wrong, but
So-
I'm thinking like
Check this.
I didn't just get mad out of nowhere.
Check this out. So, justification is the act of providing an action, proving that an action is right. Right? Rationalization is a psychological defense mechanism where a person invents logical reasons to justify, to avoid guilt. So it's really a defense mechanism, right? And I think it's inherent in humankind.
But if I'm trying to explain so that my friend can understand, like I did apologize for it. I did
Yeah.
apologize and I took accountability. Like yeah, I overreacted and I'm sorry and I did not want to disrespect you. If I did disrespect you, like I wouldn't want to do that to my friend. Like I didn't want to get to that point at all. Like but I need you to see that these kinds of things hurt me.
Yeah.
So I need to tell you why I got to where I got to, because you don't want me to ever get disrespectful again, but I don't ever want to feel like in a position to where I get disrespectful, So I need you to know.
That's
what-
probably a conversation that is important to have, but probably not in the heat of the moment.
No,
Right.
it wasn't in the heat of the moment at the time.
No, at the fair, he's saying that was in the heat of the moment.
No.
Right?
I'm saying when did she come and apologize to you?
Well,
After the fact.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah, we had a conversation in the office, yeah.
Yeah, and then we just kind of figured out. All I'm saying in this whole discussion, right? Because we're supposed to talk about parenting, but we also realize like we carry so much of our own baggage, and even as adults, right? We we don't want to live with shame. We don't want to be disrespected or not accepted by the people that we trust or that we've invited into our lives. And a lot of that is stuff that we end up passing on to our kids unintentionally, right? A few weeks ago, we were talking about how that's kind of like the programming that we have, the default programming in our. Because if you go back like to the story of like the first story of humankind in the Bible, Adam and Eve and the fall and all this kind of stuff, like the scripture says that we were created in the image of God. And it's so stupid because the temptation, some of us would say the serpent or the devil or whatever, but the accusation that was made to them was that, see, God doesn't want you to do this because then you'll be like him. Well, wait a minute. How much more like God could they already be? Was there left to be? Because they were created in his image. They were created to be a representation of all that is. Why do I want to say this the right way? If you're created in the image of God, you're not just imitating, you actually share in the best qualities. And yet the lie was that, like, oh, you're not like him. Well, what do you mean? I was, like, they had never had that thought until it was planted. So what did that happen? Then that took them down a journey. And once their eyes were, the Bible says it really interesting, once their eyes were opened, there's some things that had always been true that they hadn't realized until then. First thing that they did was they went and hid from God. Because all of a sudden they knew, hey, I had violated this relationship. Second thing that they did was they covered up, right? It says that they knew that they were naked. It's really interesting. When things were healthy, the scripture says that they were naked and unashamed. The minute that this thing goes wrong, what do they want to do? Cover up, hide, right? So they're hiding from God behind some bush like God doesn't know where they're at. They're trying to cover up like they had already seen each other exposed. Now, all of a sudden, they're the ones that are ashamed. And the next thing that they do is they start making excuses why they did what they did.
Let me ask you a question, Jeff. So I don't like being in conflict with people, arguing, all that stuff, right? So like me being married for like 14 years in a constant battle, arguing, fighting, whatever. Is it me rationalizing my fault because of that situation to not want to deal with it now? Like, I don't like dealing with, like, I don't want to have like with men. Usually if I have conflict, I'm usually going to fight them, right? If I have conflict with a woman, I just walk off. But is that me rationalizing my fault through, that is still rationalizing my fault?
Yeah, because there's avoiding wanting to do something that is necessary.
But what about just saying, okay, you're disrespecting me, I'm not going to deal with it and walk away? Or is that still part of rationalizing my fault?
I still think that that's a part of rationalizing.
Dang. I was wondering about
You're
that.
You're just doing it on the front end. Millie's doing it on the back end. You're creating the excuse to get you out of the situation.
So it's wrong that I do
Millie
that?
was explaining the situation after the fact.
I don't think it's wrong. I don't think it's wrong that you do that. Mel was explaining to me, like, people cope with things differently. Like, people can't sometimes, like, cause I'm the type of person in a marriage and a friendship, I don't like to go to sleep mad. And I was explaining that to you and to her. Like, I'm the type of person, like, I want to fix it. Like, let me fix this. Like, I want to lay next to you and I want to lay next to you. Or I want to be able to go through this weekend on vacation and us be good. But some people need to be able to, like, walk away and be able to, like, collect their thoughts and whatever.
Oh,
but if you can't collect,
you're describing every marital conflict my wife and I have had. because I'm a verbal processor. And what's my goal
I used
when
to
we
be.
have conflict? Do you remember when I
Resolve.
said that I got to win?
Yeah.
I got to
Yeah.
arrive, right?
Well, that's how I used
for
to
me
be.
to feel safe, I have a mission. And so if my wife and I are arguing, what's the mission?
You have to win.
Not beat her, because now I'm more mature. I don't have to win to make her
The
feel small.
argument, yeah.
I don't have to win the argument.
Right.
What's the end goal? Where do I want us to get to as quickly as possible?
To fix it or to
Yes.
resolve the issue.
To resolve it, right? And I'm a verbal processor, so I'm talk. Jamie, she shuts down. In fact, her whole thing is, I'm like, why won't you talk to me? She goes, because I don't ever want to say something that I'm going to regret later. We handle conflict totally different. And so when we're at the tension point, Jamie not just walks away, she runs away and locks herself in a bathroom and cries for 90 minutes. And the whole time I'm just sitting there. And the one who's the relator up there is going, how did we get here? What have I done? I'm such a horrible person. Did I cause this on myself? Did I cause this? And we got to come back and work. And we've made a commitment in our marriage that not only do we not go to bed angry, unresolved, even if it takes us till 3:30 in the morning, we actually come together physically, and because it takes such humility to really honor and to serve each other. Yep. Right? We think that like one of the challenges I have with kind of like hookup culture a little bit. Whatever happens in somebody's bedroom, right? That's between them and God. The Bible actually calls it holy, right? And so because it's something that he designed. Like when you think about ultimately what comes from that, like the end game of a man and woman coming together is not pleasure, it's life. Right? And sometimes the life is even just that you and I, like Jamie and I tell people in our premarital counseling, like once you get really irritated with somebody, like when you just can't stand to look at your spouse anymore, count back how many days it's been since you've had sex, and you've gone 3 days too long. Because now you're not emotionally connected, right? You haven't stopped to serve each other, right? You haven't had to, all of a sudden other things now like are producing that kind of dopamine and that little high that you get from, right? And so, so for us to end an argument, and over the course of being married 34 years, like we've had some doozies. You can imagine I'm not easy to live with. I mean, Jamie, she's awesome, right? But also there's been challenges that my wife has had because she's a relator and she only wants to have unity. Then that also has been used against her because was raised in a family culture. They didn't mean to do this, but you guys all know people who are people pleasers. They'll do whatever it takes to make people happy to avoid conflict. That's not what Jacob is doing. But so they avoid conflict at all costs.
So people that like walk away or people that like, need that space or time, how would, because I'm trying to make sense of that because I'm not that type of person.
Right. Neither
I'm
am
more
I.
like you.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly
like,
right.
I want to fix it. I want to like, I don't want to be mad at you.
But before we fix it, you better hear me.
Yeah.
You better hear me.
Yes.
Right?
I'm like
and
that.
Now, once I'm heard, I can go.
Well, I'm older now. Like being older now, I have learned, and because I have ADHD, I have learned to like sit back, hear this person, and not just hear them, but listen to them. And what I was telling her is when I listen to people, in order for me, because I have ADHD, in order for me to register the conversation, I have to repeat it back to you because I have to. So this is what you're saying.
That's actually
to me.
very important. That's a very important
That's a
life
healthy
skill.
way of communication.
Exactly.
But
right.
it's not me like, it's not me being like, over and over and over, like explaining something. It's me trying to understand you, and I'm not asking you to repeat it because I want to get it right in my head. I want to get it right. So
But you
explain
can't get
to
it
me.
right until the temperature
Yeah.
drops.
So is that bad?
But
That
it
like
has to. That is a healthy, but it has to work for both ends. If it's not working for both ends, then you're not really going to accomplish anything in that tactic or that type of communication with the other person, especially when it's the tension is high.
Yeah. And like in my situation, like I'm an athletics coach. You think like 15, 16-year-old boys listen to like, now sweetheart, listen, we got to like, what do you think that I do? I mean, I'm
Coach.
6'2", 250, and all of a sudden I get my cop voice on and I make sure that they hear what's going on. I mean, that was one of the challenges I had as a parent. I didn't realize, like, I had a 3-year-old. I remember specifically my son Justin, who's now 30, right? And I didn't realize how much his personality and his spirit was like his mama's. He's a kind and thoughtful. My daughter, she's like on task, on mission, type A, high energy, much more like me, right? My son is. I didn't know any guys that weren't like me, right? The athletic world, and so I remember him being little, and I would go to correct him, and I'd be like, "Now listen, Justin, you need to make sure that you listen to your mom, because I'm not going to tell you again about picking up these toys." What do you think? What do you think that does to a little 3-year-old boy?
Intimidated.
Oh my gosh!
That's how my son is.
So how do you think I intimidate? What do you think my style of parenting was for most of my son's life until I realized when I started to see fear in his eyes? Even now, I remember as a young man when he's making decisions, life decisions for him. And all of a sudden now my tone starts to get a little bit more direct because I want to make sure that this man that I'm raising hears me. What do you think that does to him? You think he hears me or you think he just shrinks?
shrinks for sure.
For sure. So I see at times when I take a certain tone with my son, that it goes back to his programming. And in my 30-year-old son, and he's a man's man, rock climber, surfer, financial planner, like I couldn't be more proud of him. But I also see the 3-year-old come out when I take a certain tone, right? And that's why I think one of the reasons why marriage is so important and why parenting is so important is because it really does force us to navigate the most difficult things in our lives, which are relationships.
Can you fix that? Like, I know that I use fear with my kids as like you hear older people and they're like, dude, I'm still scared of my mom. She's freaking 4'11", 120, and I'm still scared of my mom. Like, we always hear that. Like, for me, I feel like I do scare my kids because I don't want to hit them or I don't want to be that parent. I'd rather be that parent that yells or that's just like, no, you can't do that. Like, I give you a look and you already know, But how do I fix that so that I can bond with my kids in a way that they don't have to be afraid of me, but they also respect me?
Yeah. I think it has to do with building accountability in the relationship because a lot of like even some of what you guys were talking about in the first session about like how often should they call and this guy dude ghosted me and this it all has to do with expectations, right? Unclear expectations. And one of the things that we teach in Dad Academy, and in fact, it's interesting for any of the listeners that are out there, go get this week's newsletter at dad.academy, sign up because we talk about, in fact, the title of the newsletter that will go out on Thursday is Wait Till Your Father Gets Home, right? Because people who grew up with a dad in the house, right, that was like the ultimate, moment, right? Because that means it's on,
You're
right?
Or I'm going to
scared.
tell your dad how you're acting.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. because it's all that fear and intimidation base, right? But is that how we? Because there's only two things that can come from living in that kind of environment. Either A, you end up with compliant kids who are people pleasers, they will do anything to avoid conflict, or what's going to be the opposite of that?
Wreck.
Huh?
There's some muck.
The-
Run a
the
muck.
rebel,
Yeah, the
right?
rebel.
Right? Is that what we want? Is that the kind of, is that the, how many, you got girls, boys?
I have a girl and a boy. We all have a girl and a boy.
Is that like, that's definitely not what you want for your girls. You do not want a girl who is either making everybody happy or is wilding out all the time. And you do not want to raise a young man who always has to have some kind of fake bravado BS on his life to try to prove to somebody else what he never was able to prove to his mama or his dad, because they were never, he never matched up. And then those are the kind of knuckleheads that happen on the DNR shows that everybody's complaining about.
Yeah.
It's those dudes
Yeah.
who were raised in fear. Really interesting. Remember during COVID, like so many churches or people were saying things like faith over fear, right? Faith is not the opposite of fear, right? One of the verses that's so powerful is in a letter to one of his spiritual children. The author of, it was actually, he wrote a letter and it was named to whom he was writing it to. One of the authors, Paul, like guy wrote almost half of the New Testament in letters to other believers and things like this. We kind of got his journals, right? And he wrote to one of his spiritual children, a young man who was in a situation that he was trying to figure some stuff out. And he said this, perfect love casts out fear. The opposite of fear is love. So when our kids understand that what governs our relationship with them is love, not fear, not conformity. Like with love comes accountability, right? Comes boundaries. With fear comes compliance, right? With fear comes, we just want them to do what I tell them to do. Because how many of us know that as parents, like, it's so much easier if you'll just do what I tell you to do,
Yeah.
right? But like, we want kids who grow up with courage, who are willing to take some risks because they know that failure isn't going to kill you, right? That try stuff, that you can always get back on. We were talking about the challenges that Jacob has had as a business owner up and down through the years, even as you guys are building this audience with HOB, like it's up and it's down and where's the right thing? We're never going to be perfect parents, but at the end of the scale still tips to love. I was less than a perfect parent. I wish that I would have known some of the stuff that I was able to put together for other dads in Dad Academy when I was growing up. And I even had a great example of I didn't realize how flawed I was when I became an adult. As a husband, how flawed I was as a dad, because so much of my life revolved just around me. I was always justifying. I was always rationalizing. I made everybody kind of understand, like, you know, I'm the head of the house and I'm the, feed my ego and make me feel important. And man, I programmed my whole family to be that way. I'm ashamed to say. What I'm so grateful for is, like, man, I get to go pick up my daughter from the airport tomorrow. And she's going to be at home for a week. She's 28 years old, living her life in Brooklyn. Shout out to Jordan Hamilton. Check her out on Spotify, Jordanne. White girl, neo soul, Jill Scott, Erica Badu vibe. She's really a dope artist. But she's looking forward to being at home. And my son, we never get off the phone without saying I love you. And it's one thing when they're 10, right? It's one thing when they're 8. When they're 30,
Yeah.
right? And like, and I want my daughter-in-law, like, she gets kind of now the best version of me
Yeah.
because I made all my mistakes on them, and I want her to know that she's loved and that I'm in her corner, right? I'm done raising her. I didn't have to raise her, um, which is different from the state that all you guys are in with your kids. We're still cultivating them and helping to bring out the people that God's designed for them to be. But um, we loving our kids means that we've clarified some expectations. This is who we are. This is what's important to us. In fact, one of the ways that we define that in our home was that I say to parents, what are you gonna? Because discipline isn't just punishment. Discipline is training. That's the word. What discipline means, right? And so, how are you training your kids? I say that there are things that we're gonna confront because they're not who we are as a family, and there's things that we're gonna complement, right? So we said that the things that you're always going to get called out for at our house was deceit. You can't lie, even lying to yourself. That is not who our family is. That's not the kind of people we believe God wants us to be. Second thing is you can't be disrespectful. If we've been created in the image of God, and then really just because it cultivates gratitude, right? I go to work every day so that you could have this house, so that you could have these groceries. It costs me, and you're not going to talk to me or your mom in a tone that's disrespectful. And if we do, right, then we acknowledge it. I mean, one of the things you got to get good at as a parent is saying I'm sorry, acknowledging when we're not good. And the other thing that we confronted was when they didn't fulfill their responsibilities, dishonesty, right? If you don't do what you say that you're going to do, if you don't have integrity, if we have to ride you all the time on to do what's expected of you, we're going to have an issue.
That's the hardest thing that I feel like I have, like, as a parent, is like, how am I supposed to expect my children to, ride what they say they're going to do and do all that if I tell them I'm going to take you here, or I'm going to make sure you do this or do that. And, I get tired. I get, like, we work all the time, and I have my other
Right.
job on top of that. I do comedy. I get tired, and I'm like, man, I want to make this promise so bad. So I do it. But then in turn, it, like, creates, like, disappointment in them. And then I get so upset with myself because I'm like, should I not have made that promise, or should I just have, like, like, put a gray area in it, or I don't know. But, like, I don't want to do that to my kids. That's something I'm working on right now. I don't want to do that to my kids, and then they start doing it in their daily lives, like making that commitment, making those promises, and they don't fulfill them.
And they do that because why?
Because they see it.
That's right. So that's part of so what you're saying to them is, this is our value. I can intend to do stuff, which almost comes back to the conversation that we had at the beginning, right? Where we rationalize why we're not who we say we are, right? Now, no judgment. Listen,
yeah.
because the people that I respect the most are single moms. So anybody out there watching, like I got high respect for single moms because you're doing the job of two people, right? I get it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But what you're telling them, because your values are based in your behavior, right?
Mm-hmm.
What they're saying is the value of our family is I can have good intentions that I don't have to follow through on.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But that's not what you really wanted to say. What you want to say is, if I make a commitment, we're going to keep it. That's who we are. So the way that shifts has to start with you.
Yeah.
And then when they don't do that, you get the chance to say, that's not who we are, sweetheart. We're people, like, when we give you your word, when we make a commitment, like, that's what we're going to do.
Yep.
right? That's how values. And then, but more importantly, not do we just confront them? What did I say was the other side of discipline? Confront and, you happen to remember? Compliment, right? In fact, so the things we complimented were sacrifice, right? When you did something more for somebody else, service, we complimented. Like when we saw them doing stuff, whenever there's an opportunity to reinforce something that we wanted them to do, that's when we made a big deal about it. And ladies, for anybody who's married out here, right? Like, Jacob, you can close your ears for a minute, but like if you want different behavior from your friend here, right? Then compliment the things he does well. Like there's an old joke that men are dogs, right? That ain't no joke.
I was just about to say that.
Men are dogs, right? You heard that experiment, right? About how Pavlov, this psychologist, what's the story? Can anybody tell me?
The
Do you know the story?
No, I'm just like laughing what you said. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
So what he did was that every time he wanted to see if he could condition his dogs. So whenever he fed them, he rang the bell. He rang a little bell. And just every time he fed them, he rang this little bell. Every time he fed them, he rang this little bell, right? And then one time he rang the bell. What do you think the dogs did? They ran to where the food was, and they already started salivating, right? Because they connected that. I tell wives this all the time, like, you guys are not ringing the bell enough. What do you mean by that? I said, when Jamie and I do like marriage conferences and stuff like this, we'll be like, how many of you ladies are tired of nagging your husband to take out the trash? And how many hands do you think go up? Every single one.
Yeah.
Every single one. I said, okay, so here's the plan. You don't want to nag him anymore? I said, yeah. I said, it's going to cost you. So you just got to keep nagging. When he takes the trash out, when he comes in, you grab him by the hand and you take him upstairs and you have sex. Right? And then, because what you don't want to do is for him not to take out the trash.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to reprogram him that there is a reward for doing the things that I need for you to do.
It's like incentive driven.
Because men are all are all reward based, right? We want to be
Incentive-driven.
respected.
Mhm.
We want to be respected, right? We want to be admired.
Wives don't listen to that stuff. I
Right?
feel like though.
Yeah, well, it's a whole different. So like, I think humankind, like, it was one of the big switches that I made in my coaching when I'm coaching young men. I said we stop practices all the time to tell one kid what he was doing wrong in front of the whole team,
Yeah.
trying to shame him into changing his behavior. We started stopping practices all the time to tell a kid when he did something exactly right, and taught him about the ripple effect.
How did that work?
Powerful.
Really?
Because eventually, would you rather know what is right and have that explained and expected from you and affirmed for you? Or would you rather have everybody on you all the time when you do something wrong?
I mean, I'm used to that part, but I do
That's
that with
the
my
programming.
kids. I do that with my kids, though. I make sure I tell them when they do something good.
Right? So part of disciplining your kids, right? One, we gotta look in the mirror a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
Number two, right? You gotta determine what's important. What kind of people do you want to be there? And am I that kind of person? Can they learn that by watching me? And then it's not always just correcting them. Sometimes you got to compliment them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Listen, I know you make your bed every single day. But I want you to know, like, we think that making our bed is important because everybody's got to make a contribution. Because if you weren't making your bed, Mom would have to make the bed. And it'd be just one more thing on my list. And it's one of the ways that, A, you help me out. Number two, the way that you hold responsibility. And I may not say it every day, but today I want you to know, I saw that you made your bed, and I'm proud of you. Thank you for doing that. What do you think is going to happen every time he makes his bed?
He's gonna be happy.
He's gonna
happy to
know.
do it.
He's gonna know, like, this is important.
Yeah.
This matters, right? Instead of yelling at them when they don't make their bed, how many times would it take for them to get it in their mind? Like, you know what? Making a bed is important because the bigger principle is what? I'm going to take responsibility for my life. I'm going to contribute to the whole of my household.
Yeah, because I was raised. I think that I think I commend you on that for sure because I was raised the exact
I didn't do it well.
Yeah,
but, right?
I was raised on the exact opposite where it was like I was if my dad programmed my mind to be like I'm going to tell you you can't do it so that you do it and it's like I'm chasing the fact that I need his approval. Even till this day, I'm chasing approval from everybody. I know I am, and I know that's a problem I have. I'm a people pleaser. I'm like that. But I'm always chasing approval, and I'm trying to rewire myself because I don't want my kids to feel like that. I don't want that to be something that, like, but I know that, like, hearing you say, like, giving the affirmations to your kids, giving, like, the guidance with affirmation makes me feel good because, like, I need to go about that because I didn't have that as a kid. As a kid, it was more like, I'm going to tell you what you can't do so you can do it and you do it better. Yep. And I don't think that's a good way to program your kids.
I even think, like, I'm kind of anti, like, rewarding for grades. I mean, I had a daughter who was, like, brilliant. I had a son who really, really struggled in school. And so is their whole worth and their value and their identity should be tied into their achievement or to what they accomplish or to who they are? See, God made them, each one of them, different, just like he made each one of your kids different. So you got to find out how to acknowledge the things, the unique things that God made them to be, not in what they do or in how they perform, right? My daughter,
I like that.
It's
that
really
makes a lot of sense.
It's really important, right? Because we do not want to raise a generation of like the whole influencer culture is based on people seeking out approval that they didn't receive from their family of origin.
You know what's crazy about what she said? I'm the opposite. I feel like I want to be disapproved because it was like that anyways, and I can prove them wrong on what I build or whatever. I'm good with disapproval. Go ahead and look at me like that because I'm good with it. I feel like it actually makes me feel better. Like, disapprove what I do.
But that has to do with, again, we've talked on the show about, like, a rough childhood, right? And so there wasn't a lot of approval growing up, right? And so what does it matter? So I actually feel like I'll show you, right? Because it wasn't your childhood a lot of, like, well, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Right? So it's amazing how those things
that is crazy to think about.
Kind of play into our journey. And, for you ladies, if you ever consider, like, about, do I want to be married again? Do I want to, like, what am I gonna look for? Listen.
What about you said that the whole dog thing, like, men are like dogs, which makes sense a lot of the time. But for some men, I've heard also you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. You know what I'm saying? So in that sense, like, if I'm always rewarding him for this,
not good, man.
So if okay,
yep. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, that's true. I
don't mean every time because, like, after a while,
you should just do it.
How many? I don't have to. I should know that taking out the trash, right? After one time, it's kind of like making the bed, right? Like, one or two times when I do something in because really the reward for me as a guy is not the sex, it's the connectedness. Guys still need that as well, right? It's purely a brain thing without, like, there really is no true intimacy or true sharing without commitment, right?
That makes sense.
There isn't any. It's all transactional. Even if the transaction just stops right there.
That's crazy to think about. Like, to really dial into that. What you said, that's crazy to think about.
Okay.
You are completely right on
How
that.
deep do we want to go on this subject?
Go ahead.
Are you okay?
Mhm.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, my eyes are just dry from these contacts.
That's
Okay. All right. We're
crazy.
going. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. We're gonna go deep here. Sorry for the audience. I better like. Can I
No, you-
unshare? Can I unshare this on Facebook? We gotta be careful about clipping this too. But when you think of the posture that a man and woman take for physical intimacy, you know, we're the only creatures that were primarily designed to procreate face to face.
Mm.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying now. Listen, I'm not getting into everybody's freaky stories and about like what preferences are. There's, like I said, if it's between in a committed relationship, whatever serves the other person is, you know, as long as it doesn't cross boundaries, right? All that's good. I'm not trying to talk about like
Yeah.
technique or all this kind of
No,
stuff.
I was
right?
just thinking about it. I was thinking of turtles.
I was thinking animals too,
Yeah,
like
like
birds. 'cause,
yeah, I never see them like.
yeah,
Right.
birds are
Like
the
this.
same way.
Okay.
But
So
if you're talking literal face to face,
literal face to face,
Yeah.
right?
I was thinking
So
birds.
so when that happens, right? Number one, think about the female's role, right? No matter how we try to compensate, there is very few women who don't use their physical appearance as a weapon who are fully comfortable in their own skin. There's always something wrong, right? And so the kind of vulnerability that is offered by a woman when she's completely uncovered, it's a powerful thing. It's a big risk. Sometimes you can still be naked but have your armor on, right? Okay. Second thing is that in order for intimacy to happen, the woman has to literally put herself in a place where she is
Well,
open, right? Nothing happens if everything's closed,
yeah.
right? She has to be willing to receive. And again, another vulnerable place. Okay. Husband, like my wife is like 5'3", 5'4", and about 160 pounds. I'm 6'2", 250. I literally shadow her, right? I physically cover her. And I think that that's an example of how God has designed that relationship, that my job as a protector is as a coverer, right? The other thing is that if this is really going to work effectively, I have to serve first before I can be served. For us both to take something away from the pleasure that creates, you girls take way longer than us
True.
to go from point A to point B, right? It's okay. But that means in order for it to be like, I have to be reminded that my job as a man is to serve first. Like I don't even need all of that to get to the explosion moment. In a most unhealthy way, I just serve myself. That's not good. That's not healthy, right? Because it's meant to be shared. It's meant to be a life-giving thing, a life-affirming thing. I think in healthy relationships that when that afterglow moment happens, it's because that we both feel affirmed and seen, and that there's trust that has taken place. And it's an affirmation. I will tell you what, after 34 years, I mean, man, I remember my honeymoon. I remember what my wife looked like. I remember what that But I will tell you what, the life that we share together, that's unique to she and I, it has so much more meaning now because it has 34 years behind it. It may not be as acrobatic as it once was, right? But I will tell you what, it's much more intimate. And it takes a lot more preparation, right? I mean, um, like you literally have to want to do that because the moments of like running up on somebody on a club and having a little buzz going and seeing that somebody's attractive and stuff like this. I mean, she's got, what were you saying in your thing the other day? I got tiger stripes, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like there's just
He listened to the whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't have to listen to the whole thing. That's all in the first 90 seconds, man. So Millie was changing the energy just by people going, oh, what's going on right here? But I think I like it means more now. None of us look. She and I don't look at all like we looked when we were 26 years old.
Yeah.
Right, but it's still an important part.
Not to get physically like in depth or anything, but I feel like the only times I've ever actually made love to somebody is in that position, like being face to face with somebody and being able to like look in each other's eyes. So that's crazy. That's amazing. That the way that you explained it, like I'm being not to be weird, but
yeah, no, I think like God has a design and a purpose to everything, right? And so even the posture and the positioning and the like, I think it's symbolic of what's required in a relationship. My wife, whether she wants to or not, because I disappoint her all the time, and she still has to be vulnerable with me. She still has to trust me. She still has to be open with me, even though I've disappointed her in the past. I need to understand that I've got to be a covering for her. I've got to protect her and make her feel secure and make her feel safe. And I've got to serve her. And those moments are reminders of what is required, of what God requires of us in order to have a healthy relationship. And it goes, I think that there are similar situations when it comes to how we develop healthy family cultures as well. Because while it may not have the same illustration, my kids, they needed to know that they could trust dad, that dad would protect them, right? That dad was going to serve them and not make them serve me. But one of the ways that I served them was by establishing expectations, by love. Remember, love equals accountability, right? I can't let you just like blow off the things that we say that are important. But what I'm also not going to do is I'm not going to try to control or manipulate you emotionally because and raise you by fear of always trying to get dad's acceptance. So all of these relational dynamics and kind of takes us back to the very beginning of what we were talking about, because I enjoyed listening to everybody. I enjoyed listening to everybody talk about the experience at the fair. And, I only saw whatever was, clipped up from the event. But it just shows us how hard these things are, how hard it is to be vulnerable, how hard it is to be seen. I mean, you heard him say tonight, and it took an hour for him to say, I don't care if I'm liked. It's easier so he's not walking away because he's trying to maintain his composure. It's a test of the relationship. Because that's what he had to do with other people. If he he could never make anybody happy. So if I just walk away, then they're going to come back to me.
Or they won't.
That's all a defense mechanism.
Well, yeah, I'd agree with that.
Right? And so sometimes it boils into our other relationship. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to be right. And Jacob, why are you not seeing me? Right? It's okay. It's no slam, no shame on anybody. This is just like real talk about these are the things that happen in our lives. I gotta tell you what, like one thing that I fight about. It's funny. I'm so grateful for Mel, but she doesn't even like realize that sometimes I'll text her and be like, "When's our next show?" Because I'm really saying, "Am I still important?"
Of course.
Aww.
Because even at almost 60 years old, I still want to be included, right? I still want to be respected. I still want people to think that I have something to offer,
Oh.
right? That's the that's my biggest fear about whatever my last chapter of my life is that I'm going to fade away into obscurity, that my life will have not mattered. And when I really feel like I finally, for the first time in my life, have something of value that I can bring, right?
No, you
And
bring
so-
a lot of value.
So like I look around all the time, I'm like, am I still important to that person? Do they still think that I'm important to them? Is this still an important relationship? Why am I so insecure at this age?
I'm just like
It's
that.
it's all the programming, right, that happens over the course of our life. And this wasn't because I had a bad family. I had a great family. But these are just things that the way that life trips you out, the way that life programs us, and that's why having important relationships in our life is such a powerful thing. I mean, even with John out there, in fact, you guys need to make sure that that it's not just the four of you guys, but you guys always make sure that John's wife is included too in the conversation, because you know John's out here hanging out with two beautiful ladies, and while Jacob's out here, doing the thing, right? And you guys remember being moms of newborns and feeling like I'm getting left out of everything. Am I not important anymore? Like, y'all need to make sure that she gets some props and some like, hey, can I bring you back something? Hey, how you guys doing? Give a shout out to her. In fact, I saw her post. John, you might have to yell in here a little bit, but what's your wife's Instagram handle again, John? Yeah, Yeah, I won't repeat it on there, but somehow she came up on because I think you reposted it, that she was watching a clip in a hotel room of your show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Why'd she do that?
because I love her and
You
she
do love
loves
her.
me.
She does love you. Loves you enough to say, I didn't get to be there,
But I was there.
but this is important
Watching.
to me, and these people are important to me,
We love Bernice. I love her.
right?
We always tell John, like, tell her we said hi, we miss her.
We want to have just a girls' night where
Yeah.
we just take her
Yeah.
out because
I
we know
think-
how it is.
I think it'd be good, right? You do know how it is,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And she's so sweet and so kind, and like I think thinking about all of that is important, because only half of John is here
Yeah.
tonight, right? I used to like it when she was coming in all pregnant and saying glowing and saying hi, and like the Bible says, Jesus said, store up treasure in heaven. What do you mean? Why would I need money in heaven? What are we talking about, right? Talk about people have these ideas of heaven like mansions and streets of gold and all those kind of stuff. Forget all that kind of stuff. What's the only thing that we will take from this life with us into the next
Our soul.
one? Us, yes.
Memories and
I thought we don't remember anything
Yeah.
when we go into heaven.
No,
moments.
I thought you see it all before you.
we take each other. Relationships is the treasure that we build on earth that takes with us into eternity. And so we better get better at relationships.
Are you serious? I'm screwed.
Bro, I can't even tell you how much better you are from when I met you the first time, like 20 months ago. Bro, what God has done in your life, and I will give God credit because we don't always notice that, like, he's just kind of like nudging us,
Mm-hmm.
you know, pushing us along and kind of redirecting our steps. I really believe, like, God wants to be known. He's not hiding from you, right? And he's chasing us down. And so I really do think that the growth and the change and, this is, too, for the people. I can't believe we got not one chat.
They all come later, though.
I know they do. But is there anything on Facebook, John? Anybody been saying anything out there?
We got a lot of viewers on Facebook.
Yeah. So, like, this little thing that you guys are building here is not just a podcast one day that will turn money. Whether or not you get to do this forever with each other, right? Because this is hard. This is a grind every Tuesday, right?
Thursday.
No, it's way more than
Yeah,
Tuesday
yeah.
now. We're doing it
Friday,
three days a week
Saturday.
now.
Well, I mean, I heard you doubled their pay, so because 2 times 0 is still 0, right?
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So, but relationships are important, and we treat them as disposable in an influencer culture. And so, yes, I want to be seen. I will admit it to everybody on here. The fact that I get to be on
I think we
on
all,
Howls
everyone
every
wants
month.
to be
Yes.
seen, really, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you'll get farther when you do get that acknowledgement or recognition just for the littlest things. I've said that before. Like, it's the simplest little things of just not kind words or, a thoughtful gift, or not even, it doesn't even have to have a price tag on it. Just something thoughtful, like, can go a long way.
Just being thoughtful.
I
right?
mean,
And so, like, even in circling back to the conflict, right, that we started out this whole thing, right, just being thoughtful of each other, right? If she's
Yeah.
going off like that, like, A, she's a verbal processor. B, she wants to be seen, right? Sometimes you just got to, like, bite your lip and be like, I love you enough to hang in here with this word,
Yeah.
right? And I will hear you, and we'll adjust it. And when when his guy thing goes off and his circuit breaker, trips, right? And he has to walk away, be like, okay, he'll get better. He'll get
We need to
healthier.
keep you covered. Like, he's over here fixing problems.
Bro, I got 99 problems, but so but a pot ain't one.
Oh
Hey,
my God.
hey, see, you guys I have a whole nother life out there. You guys think like PJ's all sitting in here like dropping bombs and stuff like this. Do you know how hard it is? Like, if I wouldn't be married to my wife, like, it would.
This is like
my
our therapy.
language. My language would be
The
awful.
podcast therapy.
my language would be awful.
Like the group therapy to keep us like good.
I love it.
Honestly, this is probably needed. To be
I love it. Oh, okay. Now,
What the heck is going on?
ladies, this segment's not for you. Audience, we've been doing Dad Academy now for 6-7 months,
Dang.
something like that, and we're gonna do our first
Men's.
Howls over Baaz event
Special.
coming up on June 20th. It's
Six-
the Saturday. It's the Saturday before Father's Day. Let me check it out. Yep, June 20th. June 20th. I'm going to be on the show on the 6th.
Look at her
Okay,
eyes.
hold on.
16th.
16th, yes.
Yes.
So we'll come back. Thank you. So on the 16th,
You
sorry,
see the eyes? You see the
on the
eyes?
16th,
hit?
on the 16th, we're going to do a guys only night on the pod, because we're going to talk about some guys, just guys issue, get guys around the table. Except I'm going to make those guys pay me for the therapy. No, we're going to get guys around the table. We're going to talk about men's mental health. We're going to talk about parenting.
Dang.
We're going to talk about fatherhood. We're going to talk about and whoever pray for Melanie, because she's got to schedule the other knuckleheads that are going to be on the show with us. But the reason why we're doing that is because we're setting up for our very first Dad Academy event on
We
Saturday.
should get Mario and Wolf on.
I always want to send it to my baby daddy because I'm just like,
You want him to come? It's up to you.
He's not gonna come.
Oh,
Oh, I want my baby daddy to come.
I wish he would do like
put
invest in
hands
stuff
on
like that because like just
Ignore
Get it
that.
for him.
things.
Hey, there's no better thing than like,
We don't
listen,
have that kind of relationship though.
I don't know. He's your kid's dad.
Yeah.
Whatever makes him a better dad. Like, if he
That'd be
doesn't show,
crazy
if
if
he
you guys
doesn't
get
show.
your guys' baby daddies on here.
If he
that'd
doesn't
be,
sh-
that'd be some crazy.
Well,
stuff.
what I'm saying is, Mel, like, so on the 20th.
you guys would be right out there.
Yup,
listening to-
like, yup, I'll be in the chat. I'll be in the
I know. Wrong.
Ding.
Hey,
Hey, hit that button. All we hear is stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Wait.
Stop
Party.
the cap.
What if
Party air horn.
Bernice helps us with the soundboard and John
And
comes
John
in?
comes
Yeah,
in.
John
John
comes
should
in.
come in.
That would
Yes,
be sick.
And it's
He's
all
like-
the girls in there and then us in here.
No, we don't.
All right, don't be derailing my segment
Yes,
now.
you'll be hitting all these buttons on
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Back.
So listen,
God.
but on the 20th, John and Jacob are going to be with
Jingle
me.
Hell. That's my nickname for
They
them.
love that.
I
That's
like
hilarious.
poured out my heart tonight, and now I'm like not getting no respect right now. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get some of this because this is big for
Important.
us.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
important.
big for us,
and it's
right?
coming up, and we want the men to show up and show up.
That's right. So the 16th, we're going to do like a little precursor for what's going to happen on the 20th. So on the pod on the 16th, it's going to be guys' night. And we're just going to have a mix of guys, and we're just going to kind of see what happens that night here. But it's a setup for the 20th as well, because on the 20th, we're doing a Dad Academy one-day event from 9 to 2. It's an investment in just being a better dad. And a lot of times for Father's Day, we get dad stuff that they don't even want, right? And like, even if you take them out to dinner, it's $100. Don't just take them to dinner. Send them to the Dad Academy one-day event. It's $79. Guys go home with a book. Guys go home with some follow-up tools about like putting together a plan for them, about like we talked about discipline tonight. What they're going to, we start unpacking some of those concepts. What are you going to complement? What are you going to confront based on your values? We help dads walk away with some real practical skills to help them become better dads. Like, what better investment is that? It's cheaper to send them to Dad Academy one day than it is to take your family out to dinner at Applebee's, right? And so all we got to do is, I mean, especially like if moms are the ones saying, "Hey, this is going to be important. This is going to make our kids better." Like this is a great gift. Jacob and John are going to be there because we're going to be doing some live streaming from the event, and it's in Orange, California, so right there in the middle of Orange County. And want the HOB listeners, because we're going to be pushing out some stuff on the social media, on Instagram and stuff like this, where we're collaborating on some posts to get that out to our audience. So 16th is on. It's not just a Dad Academy segment. It's Dad Academy all night on the pod, talking about guy stuff, mental health, masculinity and the culture today. We're going to talk about parenting. And then on the 20th, we're going to have the Dad Academy one-day seminar. Killer barbecue. It's going to be a great worth investment of your time, and something that you'll really be able to talk to walk away with some practical things and some new relationships that will become really important. So that's gonna we'll be pushing out that information on socials as well here. So thank you, John.
Cool. And then should we do like conclusions? Like what? Because I think we should do that after your episodes from now
What
on.
we take away?
Yeah.
You have to take away
I think from now on we
Yeah,
actually should.
for sure. Let's do it.
What do they call conclusions? Are they call them?
I just say like
Takeaways.
what's your takeaway? Like one thought that you take away. And so let me tell you what my takeaway is from just the overall experience. Like, again, the three of us, we don't hang out other than for what, an hour a month. But how vulnerable and trusting of that Mel, you and Millie are when I'm in the room. I honor you guys for that. I don't deserve that kind of trust. I haven't necessarily earned it. But the fact that you're willing to participate in these kind of conversations, and the fact that you guys have created a space um, for me to be able to make a contribution. This is I say it this way. This is where I feel the most me when I'm doing this with you guys, or when I'm at camp. When I'm There are certain things that you do in your life that you're saying like, oh man, this is who I am. This is the best part of me. Thank you for creating a space for me to get to be the best part of me. Um, and I always go home blown away by what we talk about. But um, that's my takeaway. Again, how much I appreciate you guys trusting me and creating a space for us to have these conversations. So that's my takeaway.
Well, Millie, come in. So we're closing out. You want to just kind of reiterate real quick what you said? We're doing conclusions of what we learned in the show.
Yeah,
or
like a
whatever.
takeaway. I was just saying I was so grateful for you and Mel, especially in these last 2 times since you've been, part of the conversation. Like again, I haven't earned or deserved you guys' trust as we start to kind of all of a sudden we go deep on some stuff, and I'm grateful for the trust. A lot of people don't do that, and I was also saying that when I get to do this kind of stuff, when I'm with my kids, when I'm coaching on the field, when I'm preaching on Sunday at church, but also when I'm here, like I feel like I'm the best me. Like this is what I love to do, and that you guys create a space for me to get to do that. Like it's a very humbling and awesome thing for me. So that's my takeaway for the night. So, Casas.
I think my takeaway is I'm cool with not really giving an F, like keeping it like.
I mean, you can say
Keeping
that
it-
for it. You
yeah.
totally said it for like
Yeah.
87 times in the first hour.
Yeah, but when
it
I
was a collective.
But when I clip this, I want to be able to use it all for your thing. You know what I mean? For yours. But no, I think I need to maybe consider people's feelings more because don't really. I just think, oh well, why are you not thinking this way? This doesn't make sense to me. But at the end of the day, I kind of maybe calloused myself to think that way. So maybe I take your guys' feelings into more consideration on that. I think that's my takeaway from this.
I appreciate that.
Look at that affirmation right there. Good job right there. Right.
It's not my first rodeo.
Let's go. Exactly right, woman. All right.
Yeah.
What's your
I
takeaway?
just like the perspectives you were able to give us and the constructive, feedback, just so we're all on the same page and learning as we're going and building this relationship with each other. And because we do see each other more often than none. This is like our friend group, you know what I mean? So, if it means something, it's gonna take work, and I understand that. And just I internalize a lot and self-reflect on things that you say, and I appreciate it because it's like, okay, I'm on the right track, or maybe I need to work on this a little bit, you know what I mean? So I'm here for a learning lesson, growth.
All right, seafood boil.
No, I feel like every time we talk to you, the 2 times that I have talked to you, I feel like I do get closer to God in the sense that I don't, I'm not an avid churchgoer and stuff. So I do learn a lot of things for you, and I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate Jacob opening his heart and his mind into, understanding our feelings and seeing it from a different point of view. And I really do appreciate that a lot because, at the start he was like, hey, whoa. But I feel like he just understands now. And I really, really do appreciate that. I appreciate Mel because she's our mediator at the end of the day. And, it takes a lot to do that. It takes a lot to do that and to be that person.
I'm
And
tired.
I appreciate that a lot because she sees things obviously, and again, from a different perspective. As far as being a parent, I mean, I was just literally on the phone with my daughter, but as far as being a parent, I've learned I'm gonna learn different ways to be able to get through to my kids instead of fear,
Yeah.
And definitely, I'm still working on it, and I'll be working on it until like
You're never done.
forever.
Yeah.
I got a 28 and 30-year-old. I'm still working on.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
as a parent, your job's never done.
Yeah.
Never.
Just so you know, this stage, parenting adults is
It's
the
different.
hardest.
Really? Oh my gosh.
It's the hardest, but it's also the most rewarding. It's really rewarding to have the people that you raised still like you and
Yeah.
and want to be your friends and want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
And so
And I appreciate John too. John,
Yeah, I
you're
was gonna
fucking
say that,
amazing.
actually.
I mean,
totally,
yeah.
John always like is
Well-
like giving me props when I'm
Yeah.
rolling out. Like I always appreciate that too.
We love
too
Vernice.
much, so much.
Well, that's what I like what you were saying. Because I think I just been kind of put in this mindset where I'm gonna go no matter what. Whoever's there is there. If whoever's not, it's not. If I'm by myself at the end, it is what it is. But I like what you said. If you think the relationship's important, you're going to like put time into that and try to do right by that. So I'm like,
It's like that
Well-
saying, if you want to go far, or you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go with,
together. Yeah,
go together.
so I kind of think like, okay, with them and John and even Vernice, like it is a family, and you come every well, no, 'cause you come every month now. It's like now we are actually building. I started seeing that after a while. Like we're starting to build like a family.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like a lot of dysfunctional stuff goes on in it. But like you kind of bring us back to like the reality of like okay, this is stuff we should talk, because I don't like talking about this stuff. If you weren't here, I wouldn't even be talking about this.
I know.
So,
But
like-
you're
like-
listening because so the different way that people process, right? Millie, she talks and like talks it out and stuff like this, and Melanie just sits there, and, like just processing. But I know, just so you know, when Jacob's looking at his computer and stuff like that, two things. One, as a guy, you feel like your circuit breaker's about to go off. Like I don't know if I can handle much more.
How do you
right?
know this though?
Because that's
It's
me.
Crazy.
Because
bro.
that's me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But also, like, that's the way that we communicate, right? Guys don't, like, I would never, like, I'm comfortable sitting here talking eye to eye with you guys. But if it was only me and Jacob, we would not be like this.
Okay.
We would not be like, we would be like, hey, or, all the time. So, no, it's dope. And one more of my favorite takeaways is how much you guys are going to text me when you're on your way to the taco stand after listening to my daughter's Spotify. So,
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
right,
Yeah,
gotta
shoot
check it out. But
Okay.
thank you, John.
And we had views from everywhere: Rumble, Kick, YouTube, Facebook. We had a lot of views altogether. So that's
Super
good.
fun, guys.
It's weird how they're staying on Kick, watching this. Kick is not meant for this kind of episode. They've been on the whole time, John.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah, that's crazy.
You guys are the best. And I'll see you on the 16th. And
We'll start getting the people together. You're gonna have to
yeah, I
remind
don't
me.
want to say like. I think it would be kind of fun, but you guys are gonna have to like respect the space a little bit when you got all these guys in here.
I'm really gonna try to get my ex-husband. If you
Yeah.
don't hit him, yeah, I'll really.
I
try to
have
get my
a
ex-husband.
feeling Jacob would get along with my kid's
I
dad.
have a feeling too.
I don't know why. I have
got
a feeling. I
Well,
have a feeling he would get.
You
got
gotta be nice, but
he better not. I don't like the hands on you thing.
But listen, as we think about who's gonna come,
No, not
like
him.
we
No,
want guys who are
her
gonna
ex.
be.
No, I know.
We-
She's talking about her baby daddy.
yeah,
We gotta have
We
guys who
did
are
that
gonna.
last
We
time.
gotta have guys who are gonna be real though.
yeah.
Like I don't want any like BS like posturing and
well, we
like I got to do this thing. Like the guys who you guys know that Jacob has a good vibe with.
well Mario and Wolf would be dope. We're already working with them a lot.
Ambition been running.
Yeah, I don't know.
Running.
I don't think he's.
I don't know if he's coming back. So because I haven't talked to him in a while. But
I have to hit him up.
okay. Well, we'll close that. So shed the sheep. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Shed the sheep.
Howls over Baaz. I'm Jacob Casas.
Oh.
Melanie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeff Hamilton Dad Academy.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys watching. We'll be live streaming at I guess Space Taco. So,
Let's
so I
go.
appreciate you guys watching. Get ready for the live stream. Peace. We're out.
Bye.